Hey folks, long time no speak. I hope you've all had a good new year. Please excuse the radio silence. I've been a tad busy, which has interrupted regular programming. Had a whole load of other stuff to attend to, including the birth of my first child, so congratulations to me. And I've also had a change in what I do for a living, so I've got to contend with a whole new schedule. I've also had to contend with hardware issues, so this video may look a bit different as I'm using different software to put it together, a different laptop as well, and it might not be as polished as normal because of that. And then I caught the plague that we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube, although that was a bit of an anticlimax, I have to say. But obviously not going to go into details about that here. I might talk about it in an Odyssey or a brand YouTube video down the line. Perhaps, we'll see. I'm also pretty disillusioned with the removal of the dislike button. I really do feel that that has made YouTube a much worse place. It was just so predictable that it was going to become a way for dishonest creators to churn out dishonest content without any pushback. The removal of the dislike button has removed all valid audience feedback, and these creators can now just spout complete and utter nonsense as if it's gospel, and then they can just block any person in the comments who corrects them. So along with the fact that only likes are now shown on videos, the fact that people are just removing negative comments, it just gives a false impression that everybody agrees with every creator and that every video is now totally factual. Obviously there's still ways to tell that a video has actually bombed with an audience. You can still tell due to the minimal amount of likes and comments that a video has got, but it's not as readily obvious. It's certainly not obvious to everyone who uses YouTube, and especially to newcomers to a channel as well. It can make it very difficult to know whether you're actually watching an expert talk about something or you're just watching somebody make stuff up. You would usually know that they were just making stuff up because of the massive amount of dislikes, but unfortunately with the removal of that, I think YouTube has made a mistake, and as I say, they've made YouTube a worse place in my opinion. So all of that has certainly been enough for me to feel a little bit burned out with YouTube for a while and decide to put my efforts into other things. But I did have one other issue which was ongoing throughout, and that issue was the desperate actions of a certain true crime YouTuber whose name shall be left out of this video for reasons that will become clear soon. You might know who he is, but if you don't, all you need to know is that he claims to be fighting the war on paedophiles, but has himself filmed a video in which he engaged in simulated paedophilia with a victim of paedophilia who was dressed as a toddler and kneeling before him, recreating abuse she suffered when she was aged 4. Now, for some reason, this YouTuber decided to put himself in the position of the abuser in that video, as he sighed heavily while the abuse victim called him daddy. By the way, did I mention that the abuse victim is autistic and had gone on the YouTuber's podcast looking for help? Because I feel like that's kind of important as well. But yes, that's who we're talking about here. His name is not going to be said in this video, but suffice to say he is a total degenerate, and this guy has spent weeks filling out defamation forms to YouTube, systematically getting my videos taken down one by one, to the point that with everything else that was going on, there just wasn't much point in covering this situation anymore, which is a shame because he's been pulling the wool over the eyes of some quite big name guests such as the YouTubers Gad Sad and Viva Fry. It's disappointing to see these kinds of people that I consider to be quite intelligent and interesting creators. It's disappointing to see them on a podcast with such an out-and-out degenerate, and I know for a fact that both of them would be quite disgusted to find out what he's been up to. So if anyone can get the message to them that they are appearing with somebody who is engaged in some of the worst possible behaviour, feel free to do that. Anyway, back to the point. So the London-based author and activist has been hitting my videos furiously using the YouTube defamation form. And it isn't just 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 videos I'm talking about either. All in all, this guy, who definitely is not a snitch, he says, has filled out over 20 separate defamation forms and filed them to YouTube, targeting my channel alone. And we know there are other channels that he is targeting, but this has resulted in over 20 of my videos disappearing from the view of the UK audience. We're talking hundreds of thousands of views. Now, I have asked YouTube how their defamation form can be abused in such a way, because defamation has a strict definition in the UK, and I am covering a public interest story, and I'm showing all the evidence in my videos, and I'm showing exactly how I've come to my conclusion. So how is it that a person like this YouTuber, who claims to be a defender but acts somewhat counter to that, but has himself admitted to doing the things that we're discussing, how is it that he can censor news and information about himself in this way? If you ask me, it's a clear loophole that can be exploited to have almost any video removed that a person does not like. And friends and allies of this London-based author and activist, they've also been mouthing off in videos that they too use the defamation form as a tool to censor critics. It is a clear abuse of the defamation web form, which YouTube has said they would consider terminating channels over. And they say they are investigating. Whether they actually do anything about it though is totally a different story, and they're not exactly quick on giving updates. Last time I asked them for an update, they said they were still investigating, so that's all I know at the moment. But they've basically allowed this YouTuber to become untouchable on their platform, where smaller creators are unable to talk about him. And I'm not going to hold my breath that they're going to change their position on this. So that's where we are at the moment. Around 20 of my videos have been censored in the UK because this guy doesn't want you to know the truth about his behaviour. And I've pretty much got to keep his name out of videos so as not to get a further defamation strike on this video and make this video pointless to have even bothered making. But there is some good news. There is a very, very easy way for you to get around this censorship and still be able to see these videos. If you are on mobile in the UK, simply go into settings on the YouTube mobile app, select general, select location and change that to USA or some other location. Suddenly all the videos that have been censored in the UK will become visible again, so you can enjoy that, but obviously not at work because they're not exactly suitable for work. Now, thanks to the commenter who made me aware of this. You know who you are, and it is very much appreciated. And please keep in mind that this trick will only work on mobile, I think, so if you want to view these videos on desktop, you're going to need to use a VPN unless YouTube reverses their decision to block them. Opera browser has a good VPN built in. It's all totally free. I'll put a link down below if I remember, if you want to go down that road. And you can also see all my videos uncensored on my Odyssey channel. And I'll put links to that on my brand YouTube channel down below. But use that little settings trick on the YouTube mobile app and suddenly you'll see that several channels talking about this certain YouTuber suddenly seem to have a lot more videos that you can watch. So I definitely recommend doing it. Now, just before I go, I do want to point out that it's not just this channel which has been targeted. This London-based author and activist has also struck down videos on other channels for talking about his filthy proclivities. Other channels which have been hit include Mobrats Exposed and Your Fave Demon. So I would like to give a shout out to both of them because they both covered this sleazy situation in some very interesting videos that I'm sure if you're a part of the audience of this channel, you will very much appreciate Your Fave Demon and Mobrats Exposed. Just remember to change your settings on mobile because the videos have been blocked in the UK on their channels as well. And I'd also like to give a special shout out to Mobrats Exposed as well for bringing my content in front of his audience in the US and also covering it in a very entertaining and witty way. It's much appreciated, and if you like my videos, you will definitely like Mobrats Exposed videos on the topic. He doesn't take any bullshit, he is no nonsense and gets straight to the point of eviscerating a degenerate, which is what we're all here for, to be honest. So I'll put a link down below to Mobrats Exposed and also to Your Fave Demon, so you can go and check them out. Again, sort the settings out on your YouTube mobile app so you can actually watch the videos that have been censored. And I think I'll just leave that video here. We'll keep it short and sweet. Once again, thanks for taking the time to watch this one. I look forward to hearing your take on all this in the comments down below, and I'll be back soon with another video as soon as I can. Cheers, folks.